Duh! Today, I'm trying a running shoe brand for the first time. All the years that I've been running, I have never put my foot in a Brooks shoe. I have nothing against Brooks, I just never have tried one of their shoes until now. And the shoe is the Hyperion Tempo. It's a new sort of tempo day / trainer hybrid, and it has a brand new midsole compound called DNA Flash that Brooks is using. So I'm ready to give them a shot and see if this shoe is that good. I've seen a bunch of you guys like it. So let's get these laced up, let's go for a run, and then let's talk all about my first experience in the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. Alright guys, so I'm back from my 10-mile run, and today we're going to talk all about the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. This is my very first Brooks shoe. I'm not really sure why it's taking me so long to try one out. I guess none of their shoes really intrigued me till the Hyperion line. So I decided to buy the Hyperion Tempo with my own money and review it for you. No one is paying me to make this review, that's for sure. These thoughts are purely my own. So the Hyperion Tempo is one of two shoes in the Brooks Hyperion lineup. This is the training partner to the Hyperion Elite, which is Brooks' carbon-plated race day shoe that only lasts like 50 miles and got pretty bad reviews, so I think I'm gonna stay away from that. But the Hyperion Elite 2 is apparently coming out soon, so maybe I'll review that. I don't know. I'm very confused with the Hyperion lineup right now. But forget all that. Let's talk about my experience in the Hyperion Tempo. Okay, so like I said, I ran 10 miles in this shoe at a 7:53 average pace. So I've been doing my longer runs in lightweight trainers that I could potentially wear on race day if I don't want to wear a Next Percent. This is supposed to sort of be like a New Balance Feel Cell Rebel or a Skechers Razor 3. But I have to be honest, my legs were pretty tired by the end of that 10-mile run. I was having to exert some extra effort to stay at a pace that normally isn't too much of an issue for me. I won't blame it on the shoe entirely. I could have just been having an off day. We all do. But there are a couple things that I'd like to point out about the Hyperion Tempo that might have contributed to my fatigue. Brooks is using a brand new midsole in the Hyperion Tempo called DNA Flash. It's not a standard EVA compound, and it's kind of like the Skechers Hyperburst material. As far as I know, the DNA Flash is nitrogen infused, which contributes to the little air bubbles you sort of see if you look closely at the foam. I don't know all the technical terms for it. Anyway, while I was running in this shoe, the midsole felt firm to me. I don't love firm shoes, so this was kind of a turn-off. I tend to like a little bit of squish even in my tempo day shoes. It felt like my foot was sitting on top of a block of foam rather than utilizing that midsole material and working in conjunction with it. That being said, the Tempo does have a little pop off the toe and a nice rolling forward sensation. There definitely aren't too many frills and gimmicks that can get in the way of this shoe, so it naturally rolls you forward into your stride, making it a pretty smooth ride. I'm sorry, I'm actually a rapper. I'm really hoping that after a couple of runs, this midsole material will give a little and start to feel a little softer underfoot, but I guess only time will tell. The good news is that DNA Flash seems to be a pretty resilient midsole material, so I think I could get a couple 100 miles out of this at least. And DNA Flash is also a light midsole foam. For my size 10.5 women's, the shoe is only 7.14 ounces. So imagine what it's like for a size that isn't for Bigfoot. I actually really liked the upper of the Hyperion Tempo. Brooks is using a very breathable, engineered woven mesh, which hugged my foot perfectly. It's definitely true to size for me, in case you guys are wondering. I felt super comfortable and secure in the Tempo, whether I was going around turns, running in a straight line, uphill, downhill. I never felt like I was sliding around the platform or that my foot was gonna roll. It felt pretty stable. But I have a very narrow foot, and I'm not sure if someone with a wider foot would have an issue in the Tempo. You can see here that this profile of this shoe looks kind of narrow in this forefoot area. The upper material is not really forgiving or stretchy, so there's not a lot of leeway here for your foot to kind of conform to the upper. The tongue is very thin, yet padded. There is no pull tab, but there is this flare outward that we can give them a pass on. And the laces are thin and stretchy with this odd pattern that really did nothing to help with the lockdown of the shoe. I think if Brooks wants to make the Hyperion Tempo even more dialed in and even more customizable, I guess you could say, I think they gotta get rid of these stretchy laces. I mean, it's bad for lockdown. But other than that, I had no issues with breathability, hot spots, or rubbing in the Hyperion Tempo. If we turn the shoe over, you'll see that Brooks is using rubber in the forefoot with some exposed DNA Flash in the midfoot and some more rubber in the heel. This rubber is thick and this rubber is hard. This shoe is another case of, gee, I wonder what that midsole would feel like if that rubber wasn't so hard and unforgiving. When I first took the Tempo out of the box, the rubber felt slick to me, like it wouldn't have great grip or traction. And while I didn't really run on any wet surfaces, the traction seemed just fine to me. It certainly seems like a durable outsole, but I just have to wonder if it hurts the ride of this shoe in any way. I'm having Go Run Ride 8 flashbacks. This is also random, but I felt like this was a loud shoe. Towards the end of my run, my podcast ended. Shout out City Smag Podcast. If you guys don't listen to them, you should. And I heard my feet slapping on the pavement like a tap dancer. So, overall, I'm kind of on the fence about this one. There are definitely some things that I like about the Hyperion Tempo, but there are definitely some things that I don't. I think I need to keep putting more miles in the shoe to really decide, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I would recommend this shoe to anybody who likes a firmer ride, which is somewhat responsive for those tempo days, and doesn't wanna feel like they're sinking into that midsole material at all. The Tempo is $150, but honestly, there are other shoes in this category that I would reach for before I went for the Tempo that are even less money. The Skechers Razor 3, and the New Balance FeelCell Rebel. Alright, well that kind of concludes my first run impressions of the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. I will be putting more miles in this shoe and giving it a full review, as long as nothing goes terribly wrong. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe, and when you're done with all that, hit that notifications bell down below so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Yes! I have another video coming for you guys next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget, we never forget to run like Heller. See you next time. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah, 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 yeah.